Ohio State football opened up its 8th practice of preseason camp to us and to the Big Ten Network, but mostly, I like to think it was mostly us. And they let the Big Ten Network come along. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com along with Andrew Gillis and Stephen Means. Obviously, a lot of eyes still on the quarterbacks. Big scrimmage coming up on Saturday. Today, not that intensive, frankly. It was kind of a quieter 12-period practice. We got one 7-on-7 period that was pretty equal, I thought, charting those two guys. So what do these quarterbacks need to be doing at this stage of camp to separate? What does the starting quarterback need to do to separate himself from the backup? Just in general, Andrew, what characteristics and performance should you be seeing from a starting quarterback at this point that shows you he's the guy?
Well, the number one word that I would say would be calmness. There has to be a calming presence about a quarterback. You want that in a quarterback throughout the course of a season. You need somebody with a command of the offense, too. It is August 11th as we do this. They play a game in 22 days. So you need to have a guy, like now is the time to start ramping this up where, okay, this dude knows the offense. He knows the guys in the huddle. He has a commanding presence. The guys in the huddle respect him. This is the time for that. So this is the time where guys need to feel that, okay, this is the leader. This is the guy that we're going to be able to rely on. This is the guy who's going to be taking the snaps. There has to be some kind of calmness about that. So I think that those are the two things you want to see. You don't want to see any rush passes. You don't want to see anything like that. You just want to see a guy take the snaps, go through his progressions, make his reads. Everything's simple, everything's smooth, just like my voice right now. Everything's very easy. Everything just looks calm, and that's the way that you want this to be, because the second you start to get all jittery and everybody's running around and nobody really knows what to do, that's when you get into trouble. So that's what I'm looking for the starting quarterback.
I started to doze off there a little bit. That was so calm and serene. Yeah. Stephen, the way as I was walking off the field and I was texting our text subscribers about this, what I had seen, the way I characterized it was they're both making the routine look routine right now, which has some value. If that wasn't happening, alarm bells would maybe go off a little bit. But I think that we weren't going to see much today. They weren't going to open this thing up and let us really see these guys battle. More to the point, let the rest of the Big Ten see these guys battle. These guys have to be under duress. We saw it a little bit in the spring when they would go to really competitive periods. I think that's going to happen in a big way on Saturday. We just won't be able to watch it.
Yeah, I got distracted because Andrew did math off the top of his head. So that kudos to you. Football question, football answer here. I think that you asked Andrew this question. I'm going to kind of answer that one as well. I think Kyle McCord has to do on Saturday in the scrimmage some of the stuff we got to see in the spring during the scrimmages, because I think he's ahead. I don't know if you two agree with that. I know you guys agree because we all marked down that Kyle McCord was going to be a starting quarterback. Yeah. But I think, as you said, and you texted out, 350-3315, sign up for the text. They do the routine things well, but I think Kyle McCord does the routine things a little bit more consistently. So Saturday is about doing it in a competitive setting. And during the spring, it felt like Kyle McCord in those competitive settings did it more consistently than Devin Brown did. And that's what they're looking for. Consistently do it. Just move the ball down the field. You've got weapons galore all over the place. You don't have to do anything special. Just get the ball to the guys who will do something special with it. So I think that's what needs to happen on Saturday is if Kyle McCord takes the momentum, even if it's small, that he's been building and takes it in the Saturday and does that consistently in a competitive setting, I think we can come into a situation where next week Ryan Day is saying something similar to what he said about C.J. Stroud, where Kyle McCord has started to separate himself. While with Devin Brown, it's if he can do that, then it might just be a situation where it actually will be neck and neck because Devin Brown has just made some things interesting.
That is the key word that we're all going to be listening for in the coming days when we come back here for interviews next week is separation, because this has followed a pattern every year. Like Ryan Day eventually says, well, there's been some separation, and that's like, okay, well, then that's who you're going to name the quarterback eventually, and that's like the next thing, I guess, that we're all listening for. I will say, the one thing that's different about preseason camp than the spring, I thought, was that in the spring there was a very quick whistle. They did not let plays go very long, especially when things were falling apart around these quarterbacks. That hasn't been happening as much in the preseason camp, the two times we've seen him. And it's not because the quarterbacks are live, because they're definitely still not live. You can't hit the quarterback, but they're letting plays develop a little bit more, and you're getting to see a little bit more escapability that both quarterbacks, I think, is showing, and both quarterbacks having to get out of the pocket and try to make plays and sometimes kill a play. And that all those things get graded. Like, who made the smart play to just throw the ball on the ground? In fact, it was funny, the way that they were kind of mirroring each other when they were split between the two fields today. There was a rep where I was watching over here, and Devin Brown just threw a ball into the ground, and I looked over here, here and they ran a play and Kyle McCord threw the ball on the ground. I'm like, are they like scripting that? Are they practicing that even? Which maybe they are, but it may have just been an indication of how both these guys are thinking right now. But the intensity gets ramped up a lot behind closed doors. I mean, they'll be outside, but I mean, probably, but away from our eyes, and that's when these things are going to get decided. But I think we see, like you say, Stephen, I think you're right. I think we all feel that same trend. I think it's up to McCord to maybe put it away, and a day like Saturday could be a day for him to start to do that. Listen to much more of this on Buckeye Talk. We've got episodes coming up still on Friday and into next week. And get the text where you can find them, 614-350-3315.